These are 5 positions that the Indianapolis Colts will need to address in the 2023 NFL Draft. I have 5 positions along with 2 honorable mentions of where Chris Ballard needs to attack. And we all know what number 1 is, but let's start at number 5. I have offensive line depth. The Colts seriously need some offensive line depth. And we saw last year it was not good. When 1 or 2 players went down, the offensive line was putrid. Even when they were healthy, the offensive line still was very bad. And the Colts just need to find some depth because, Ryan Kelly, it doesn't stay healthy consistently. Braden Smith has shown some injuries lately. We don't know how Bernard Ryman is going to turn out, if he's going to be injury prone or not. He's currently not, but at the end of the day, you need to find some guys that can back up some of these guys at a decent level, that they can play, that they could step up. Because of who we have right now, but we have Carter O'Donnell behind Bernard Ryman. We have Arlington Hambright behind Quentin Nelson. We have Wesley French, Danny Pinter, Dakota Shepley, and Jordan Murray. Danny Pinter, horrible. He is a decent, at best, backup center. Other than that, this team is lacking offensive line depth. So the Colts are going to need to go and look for someone in the draft because Carter O'Donnell, no. Arlington Hambright, no. You have Wesley French, didn't really play much, but when he did, he didn't look great. Danny Pinter, as I've already mentioned, he was horrible at guard. Will Fries is a starter at right guard. Right guard is not looking too good behind Braden Smith. You don't have anyone behind him, and he has shown some injury history. It's just the offensive line depth is pretty bad, and if you have a guy like Braden Smith, Quentin Nelson, if you have 2 guys go down, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're gonna have a hard time because your right guard is already horrible. Considering that's not addressed, we'll talk about that in a bit. Bernard Ryman, I've already mentioned the other day, you should go out and sign that Chris Ballard should go out and sign Donovan Smith. He was a fantastic tackle. Well, not a fantastic tackle for the Buccaneers, but he has so much experience. I think he is a fantastic depth piece, or just a signing that would bring competition to Bernard Ryman. Maybe mentor him a little bit. There are so many more pros and cons of signing Donovan Smith than not. Former Buccaneers tackle. He should come to Indianapolis. Chris Ballard should call him up and say, hey, you want to come to Indy on a 1-year deal? Teach our man Bernard Ryman. Maybe push him a little bit. That's what needs to be done. Then number 4, I have wide receiver. I probably should have put, offensive line depth at 4. Because wide receiver is not horrible. But it can't hurt to go and pick someone else up. Because Michael Pittman, he's a good receiver when he's good. Very good. The problem is, last year, kind of scared me a little bit last year. He didn't really look like a number 1 receiver. He was dropping the ball. He was fumbling. Granted, the quarterback situation was horrible. The worst in the NFL. The worst in recent memory for any team. Michael Pittman is gonna have a big year this year. He's gonna need to have a big year if he wants to prove that he is wide receiver 1. For wide receiver 1 money, he needs to prove it. And that's a big question that's going to be coming up pretty soon. Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor are going to be wanting to be paid. We'll talk about that in another video. Then you have Alec Pierce. He showed flashes. We don't know if he could be the guy yet. He did show a lot of fun moments. He had a lot of fun moments last year. And I was really impressed with how well he played, with his character, his grit, the way he just keeps on pushing. Even if he's tired, he plays hard every single snap. So I think Alec Pierce has a lot of upside. I'm excited for Alec Pierce. As we all know, the Colts went out and they signed Isaiah McKenzie, former Buffalo Bills wide receiver, mainly a slot guy. Pretty productive over in Buffalo. I think he's a fun slot option. He can get lost in the mess and find his way open to pick up a third down for whoever the quarterback is. You have Ashton Doolin. I think you bring him in a few plays a game and you send him on some streak routes. I think that's what Doolin's about. He's mainly a special teams guy. He is an incredible special teams player. I just still think, then you have Mike Strawn, Christian Wilkerson, Malik Turner, Fernia. My point proven. The Colts need some more wide receivers, and I'm not trying to cut down any of them at the top. It's just that you need to be ready, and you can't be scared to get better at a position where it doesn't hurt to have more receivers. It doesn't hurt to have a better receiver, whether it's in the second, third round. Maybe not so much the second. I think you go for maybe a guard or maybe a cornerback in the second. But I'm just saying, and I think wide receiver needs to be addressed, whether it's third or fourth. I think mid-draft would be a reasonable place to invest into another wide receiver. Number 3. I hinted at this one earlier. The Colts desperately need a right guard. The experiment with Matt Pryor last year, first we started him at left tackle. They gave him the benefit of the doubt. He was absolutely horrible. They tried to move him over to right guard because Danny Pinner was horrible. He was horrible at right guard. And, as I've already mentioned, Danny Pinner started last year. He was horrible. Will Fries played. He was better than Danny Pinner. That's not saying much. He was okay. He's a okay depth guy. But you still need better depth pieces. It just puzzles me every single time I think about Mark Lewinsky and Chris Reed. Because Chris Ballard let them both go and both showed that they were capable of being, at the very least, average guards. When Chris Reed filled in for Quentin Nelson, he was incredible. That was the year with Carson Wentz. He was incredible. When he moved to the right side, he started, he just wasn't the same, but, that kind of wore off, Mark Lewinsky and Chris Reed both kind of like swap. Someone got hurt, someone was put there, and it's like, it wasn't a huge noticeable difference, and that's what I mean about depth, but at the end of the day, you need a right guard. Will Fries isn't the answer. And I said the same thing about Danny Pinner last year. He is not the answer. I'm willing to give him a chance, but don't bank on it. I was never sold on Danny Pinner being the right guard. When he was center last year, and they moved him to right guard a little bit, and that the Cardinals game and a few different games where Kelly got hurt, was knocked out a little bit. He's good at center. He's not horrible at center. Guard, he is absolutely horrible. He's not good at guard. He's just not. And Wesley French isn't the answer at guard either, or Will Fries. So the Colts need to go and find a right guard. When you had Glow, when you had Chris Reed, you let both of them go. And you felt it last year. You felt it. You tried to bank on Matt Pryor. He's a big-body guy. He actually played incredibly well at right tackle for a while when Braden Smith was out in that Carson Wentz year. That was impressive. That was about it. He had a few pretty good games in that stretch when Smith was out. Other than that, he didn't do much. And now he's over with the 49ers. I'm really intrigued to see how he does over in San Fran. With that system is incredible. It just works wonders. That's why, Mike McGlinchey going somewhere else, paying him a lot of money, that was questionable to me just because of that system. I'm getting off topic. Right guard, number 3 need. Number 2, cornerback. I have cornerback up there. I like Isaiah Rodgers. I like Kenny Moore. But you need another guy. You can't focus on, what do we have here? We have Darryl, other than Isaiah Rodgers and Kenny Moore, At the cornerback position, not safety, not including safety, you have Delias Flowers, David Vereen, Marcel Dabo. Marcel Dabo had a little bit of, got some playing time there last year. Delias Flowers, mainly kick returner, had a few snaps here and there. You have Darrell Baker, Kevin Tolier, Tony Brown. Not good. None of these guys are the answer. Now, I know a lot of people really like Delias Flowers in the kick return, and maybe they want to give him a shot, but I say no, absolutely not. I say you need to go in the draft in the second round. There's no reason why a half-decent cornerback won't be there in the second round. You draft really early. What is it, pick 35 you draft? There's no reason why that you can't go and pick up a corner, see what you can do with them. Let me look at it and take it down real quick. I believe it's 35. The Colts have 35. They have 35 as their next pick. After 4. So honestly, a cornerback at this spot would not be a horrible decision. You look at the cornerbacks that are in this draft. You have a few who are probably going to go in the first round. You're probably going to have Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, Joey Porter, all probably going to go in the first. Deion Banks has risen up draft boards big time as well. Cam Smith could maybe be there. I'm not. And then some people talk about Keely Ringo. I'm not incredibly high on Keely Ringo. I like Keely Ringo. I think he could be a solid cornerback. Maybe he could be. I'm kind of contradicting myself. Keely Ringo. I have questions about Keely. I have questions. I like Clark Phillips. Emmanuel Forbes is all right. If Cam Smith, Keely, one of those two are there in the second round, take the chance. Why not? Deion, I'm a little question. I have some questions about Deion, but Cam Smith, Keely, just like with Keely too. But if any of those three guys are there, I'll say, heck, let's go for it. Why not? You need a cornerback, but make sure you get a guy that you think, obviously, make sure that you get a guy that you think and know will be the guy. Because you have to have that confidence, but you also have to realize that, maybe you're wrong here. Maybe there's a spot here you get better with. But I truly believe cornerback is a huge need. Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers had an incredible year last year. It just really puzzles me why Gus Bradley did not play him. Yeah, he wasn't really a scheme fit. Maybe he had some kind of injury that we didn't really know about. Instead, he played Brandon Facyson over him, which is whatever. But Isaiah Rodgers, when he did play, he was a pretty damn good cornerback last year. So, interested to see how he's going to step up. I'm just worried that Chris Ballard is going to draft like a guard in the third or like an edge rusher. Some of you may be surprised I don't have an edge rusher on here because, you still kind of feel like we need edge. But honestly, I don't think edge rusher is a huge need. I think it is fine for now. You could, that's one of those places where you always need to strive to get better, and you should never shy away from getting better at that spot if you could. But, I would rather an edge or a corner, really, at 2. I wouldn't mind. I know I don't have edge here. I think edge right now, I'm saying, is more of a luxury pick. I think the Colts can go without getting edge rushers. You sign Samson Ebukam. Deo Dangbo showed a lot of promise last year. You have Grover Stewart. You have DeForest Buckner. You signed Taven Bryan. Eric Johnson didn't get much time last year. Kwity Paye. I think Kwity Paye is going to come into his own this year. I think Kwity Paye is going to be a big time blossomer. Tyquan Lewis, we re-signed him. He could play all over. I don't see the need to really draft an edge rusher right now. Now, if that opportunity presents itself, go for it. You go for it. If you know it's going to make you better, you do it. And Chris Ballard knows that. But number 2 on my needs for the Colts 2023, heading into the 2023, oh my gosh, heading to the draft, it's cornerback. That's number 2. Some honorable mentions here. Edge rusher, just talked about that. So, could really, maybe later on go for, an insanely high upside guy. Maybe mid-rounds go for a big upside guy, really raw, give him a chance to come in and just see if he could kill it, see if he could make something out of nothing. Safety, question mark. So I like Julian Blackmon. I like Rodney Thomas, Nick Cross. Those are 3 solid safeties. There's Henry Black there, Trevor Denbo. We know that Gus Bradley likes to run multiple safeties. He likes to have a lot of safeties on the field, and you need to be able to rotate guys out. It would not shock me if the Colts drafted a safety sometime in the draft. Not early with like top 3 picks, top 4 or 5, maybe the back end of the draft, the Colts go ahead and they draft a safety. Just get him to work. Maybe he can fill in or be a good rotational piece, because Gus Bradley likes his safeties. He runs a lot of safeties in his cover 3 scheme. So, and then we have number 1. Everyone's been waiting for. Sure, if you don't know by now, you've been living under rocks in your closet. I don't know where you are, but you are not paying attention to football at all. But the Colts' number 1 need heading into the 2023 NFL Draft is a quarterback. Yeah, you got it. It's a quarterback. I'm sorry, but yeah, obviously the Colts do need a quarterback, and at number 4 is very likely they go ahead and they draft a guy. Gardner Minshew, you signed him. He's not the answer. Nick Foles, he's not the answer. Sam Ehlinger, we all know the answer is not on the roster. You need to go and draft a young guy. The answer isn't in the NFL. No, we don't need another veteran. I don't want to trade for Lamar Jackson, trade up all that draft capital. Don't act like that quarterback is the only need for the Colts. Don't act like that, because it's not. They have more needs. They need offensive line depth. If someone goes down, Lamar Jackson's going to get smacked and smacked and smacked. And we've already seen him have some injury issues. I am not on the Lamar Jackson train. He's going back to Baltimore, right? Wasn't he? I'm blanking horribly. Whatever. My point is, I don't want Lamar Jackson, okay? Let him stay in Baltimore or go wherever else. But that was a botch by me to not remember that. But quarterback number 1, I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse. We all know I've talked about all the prospects. If Stroud is there, they go for him. Are they going to have to trade up to 3? There's so many different possibilities, and I don't want to keep you here much longer. We're already 18 minutes into the video, so I have plenty of other videos, and plus you probably heard it so much. There's no point in keeping the bat swinging at a dead horse. So thank you guys for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, put that post notification bell on, share it to all your friends, share it to your Colts fan, favorite social media platforms. This is a place for you, and I enjoy having you. You have a good day. I'll catch you later.